In this video, I'm going to explain how to play Hinu Maru no Hata on the shakuhachi. Hi, I'm Marcus and I play and teach shakuhachi. Before we start with this little tutorial, let's address the elephant in the room. My glasses. You have not seen these on me before. My other glasses broke, so these are the ones that I wear when I'm working at the computer. So, just for this special episode, these glasses. The name Hino Maru no Hata means flag of Japan or Japanese flag, and it's a very popular song in Japan. This is very suited for beginners on instruments, not just the shakuhachi, because the melody is quite straightforward, and especially to Japanese people, the melody is very well known, which makes it a lot easier to play. For this video, I'm assuming that you know how to make a sound on the shakuhachi, how to play the basic notes up to kan no ro, so up to the first note of the second octave, and it also helps if you can read a bit of notation, especially if you know the symbols for the notes and if you can read the basic rhythmic notation. If not, you will be able to follow this tutorial anyway, but for all these points, if you have difficulty with one of them, you can find videos on my channel. I realized I've already made a lot of videos, so I'll put some links in the description and probably up here as well. If you're looking for something to lead you up to this point where you can start studying Hino Maru no Hata, you can watch the video on simple techniques, on simple exercises. The piece starts with otsu no tsu. So tsu is this note, this fingering here. Okay, so just the bottom hole is open. In the notation, you can see that there is a Z-like symbol at the top left, and this symbol indicates otsu. So this means we're starting in the lower octave. Okay. Then, after the tsu, you see a little hook. This is a repeat mark, or sometimes called an atari. So this means we start with tsu and otsu in the first octave, and then we repeat this note. So it starts. We repeat notes by quickly lifting a finger, to make a quick break in the airstream, a quick break in the tone, so that we know when the new note starts. In the West, we use tonguing. This is the Western style. In the traditional Japanese style, this is not done, but you do finger lifts. You always lift the finger of the lowest hole that is covered by a finger. This is the KSK style. Other traditions, other lineages use sometimes different fingers, but this is how we do it, okay? So we play to repeat re, to repeat chi, and so on. Okay, so you can see it's always the lowest finger. One thing that's very important when repeating notes this way is that the time which you have the finger in the air is very short. So if you make it too long, you can hear the note in between, and this changes the melody. Okay, so try to make this repetition very short. One final bit of notation that we need to know about is the rhythm notation. The little dots to the right and the left indicate where the beats are in this piece. And there is a traditional Japanese way of counting and learning the rhythms, which is putting the hands down. Okay, so you can slap your knees, for example, right? Or you can go on the table, something like this, okay? The right beat, you use the right hand for the dot on the right hand side, you use the left hand for the dot on the left hand side. Of course, this is a bit difficult when we play the instrument because we need the hands for the instrument. So an alternative way that is very common in Japan is to sway the body ever so slightly to the right and left. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, in this piece. Tsu, tsu, re, re, chi, chi, re. Okay, and then to learn the melody, it really helps singing it, because then you don't have to worry about which finger, how to blow, do I get the sound, all these kinds of things that are difficult initially when you start playing shakuhachi. You don't have to worry about these, okay? So when you just sing the piece, then it's easy to learn the rhythm this way. We can divide the piece into 4 parts, basically. The rhythm is repeated 4 times. So the rhythm is very straightforward, and it's just the same rhythm repeated 4 times. The first time, the first block, the first rhythmic block is this here. Okay, So you can see there are notes, 2 different lengths of notes, the short note, and at the end of this pattern there is a long note which is twice the length of the short notes. Coming back to the point about rhythmic notation, so if I do what I like to call the human metronome, so I play this way, you can see that my body is at the right when there is a dot on the right hand side of the notation, and is on the left when there is a dot on the left hand side of the notation. Note-wise, the piece also is very straightforward. So it's tsu, repeat, we already talked about this. Then you go up to the next note, re, repeat, go up to the next note, chi, repeat, and then you go down. Okay, so the pattern, again, it's a very simple pattern. Note, repeat, go up, note, repeat, go up, note, repeat, go up, go down 1. Quite straightforward. This is the first block. Okay, in the second block, this pattern is repeated, but instead of starting with tsu, we're starting with chi. So here we play chi, chi, ri, ri, ro, ro, ri. And here we get up to the second octave. We play ro in the second octave. Kannuro is often a bit tricky for people initially. So one way that you can do to make it a bit easier for you is open the fourth hole ever so slightly. If I do this, you notice it doesn't change the pitch at all. Okay, I can even open the hole completely. And I still maintain the note. The benefit of doing this is that the pressure inside the tube has one more little valve, so to speak, to get out. Okay, and so the pressure is reduced a bit, and this makes it a bit easier to keep on playing. Okay, so if you're not used to this, if you're not used to going between the octaves, it's a bit easier continuing this way. I should also say that probably many of you, or those of you who already have looked into playing shakuhachi a bit, I should say, have maybe come across the suggestion of opening the fifth hole, so at the back. But if I do that, so I opened the hole at the back and the pitch went up. So you can hear, if I open the fourth hole, the pitch stays the same. If I open the hole at the back, the pitch goes up. If you want to do this, and it's possible, and people do it, so it's not wrong in that sense, okay? But if you want to do this, you have to correct by going to Meri. So while I was opening at the back, I also went into Meri position. Since I'm assuming I'm talking to beginners, okay, going into a Meri position probably is not so easy for you. So especially for this reason, I suggest crack the fourth hole a bit if you find it difficult getting to Kannoro at this point, okay? I should also mention that in the notation, it does not indicate that we're going to the second octave. So the basic rule for notation is that you stay in the same octave. So it was indicated we're starting with otsu, and so basically it means we stay within otsu. But there is a second rule for the shakuhachi notation, which is called the re-row rule. I always have to think of row, row, row your boat when I say this.
Merrily, 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 your boat. Life is but a dream.
Anyway, so the re-row rule, this tongue twister, means that if you have a row following a re, then you go up. So you don't go down. You play. You don't play. Okay. So in this piece, in the second rhythmic block, where we start with chi, this is what we play. We don't play. Okay. Even without knowing the piece, probably you are thinking, oh yeah, musically it makes more sense going up there. Yeah, it's a small movement, but jumping down and then jumping back up, musically it's a bit unusual. Okay, of course it's possible. Everything is possible in music, but it's a bit unusual. So, okay, so it makes more musical sense, if you like, to go up here. After ro, we go back to re. Re is a note that is always in otsu. Okay, Okay, so this is basically the third rule or the second exception for shakuhachi notation, if you like. There are some symbols which are only used for particular octaves. Okay, so if you see Ri, this is always an otsu. So here in the piece, I already played this. Yeah, we play chi, chi, di, di, do, do, and Ri. We go down again to otsu, to the first octave. Okay. So these are the first two rhythmic blocks. The third and fourth rhythmically are identical, but in the third one, we start to have a bit of a change with respect to the notes, with respect to the repetitions. The first two blocks, yeah, we had note, repeat, note, repeat, note, repeat, long note. This pattern repeats twice, okay? In the third pattern, in the third rhythmic block, we have note, repeat, note, repeat, note, note, note. Okay, so this is, let me see, where do we start? We start with Kandoro, right. Okay, so you can see note, repeat, note, repeat, note, note, note. Okay, so if you like, this is a bit of a challenge for you. Yeah, some of my students stumble across this or stumble over this a bit initially because there is no repeat this for the last thing, so to speak, in this block. Okay, so the fourth block, again, rhythmically it's identical, but here we only have one repetition at the start, and then we have new notes every time. So note, repeat, note, 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 and long note. Okay, so this is the pattern for the last one. We start with Ri. Okay, this is the end of the piece. As you can see, the rhythm, I already said, the rhythm is identical, but here we have more movement with the notes in this last block. So this is the whole piece already. So yeah, it's not very long, although I'm sure if you're starting to play, you think this is super long. Okay, but basically as a musical piece, this is not super long. Okay. I have another video that I made a while ago where I'm playing this piece and I display the notation as well as the fingering. So I display the Western notation, the Japanese notation, and the fingering on the side. Okay, and I made this for my students to practice these pieces. Okay, so this should help you if you play along to this piece. It's called Practice Piece Play Along Hinomaru no Hata. Something like that. It will be there will be a link, of course, but it's not difficult to find it on my channel. So play along to this. Okay, so imitating is very helpful for learning. If you made it this far in the video, you're probably interested in learning shakuhachi, really, right? How to learn how to play this. And I must say that these videos, this is the reason why I make them, I think are helpful. Okay, but to really learn playing shakuhachi or learning any musical instrument, you really need a teacher, okay? And of course, I have a vested interest. It's not hard to guess, right? So I'm teaching. That's how I earn my living. So if you're interested in a lesson with me or with anybody else, that's fine too, right? So, but if you're interested in a lesson with me, please get in touch. It's easy to set up. We can do this via the internet or in person, however you like it. Okay, the reason why having a teacher is so valuable is that each person has their own particular way of playing an instrument, and everybody has their own challenges when starting out doing this. Okay, it's complex. You do a lot of things at the same time. You read the notation. The symbols are unfamiliar. You move your fingers, which you are not used to. You have to breathe out. You have to make a sound. You have to count the rhythm. All that stuff, right? So it's a lot of things that you need to coordinate. And initially, this is quite difficult if you're not used to playing an instrument anyway. Okay, then maybe it's not such a big challenge. But the thing is that because you're busy checking all these things, it's almost impossible to really note when you do something wrong. Okay, so this is why it's very helpful to have somebody just looking at you play and say, okay, so please do this instead of this, and this way it's much quicker to make progress. One more thing, if you would like a sheet with the notation, you can get that as well. I have it available on my Patreon campaign, so If you subscribe to my Patreon campaign for free, you don't need to become a paid member. You will get access to the sheet music for this piece as well. Maybe that's a bit easier to read rather than following on the screen what I put up here on the screen. Okay, good luck with the piece. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.